What's up, strongest men, women, and children from blocks all around the world? I am my block's strongest man, back from my bout with the world situation with my buddies, Isaac from Hunger Smash Fitness and Edouard Fournier over from Strongman Archives. Thank you guys for joining this evening.
Hey, no problem. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we're waiting for our guest of honor, Maxime Boudreault, to arrive this evening. I'm going to guess he's running over on a training session or whatnot, but maybe we talk amongst ourselves about kind of recapping what happened at World's Strongest Man 2022 until he arrives. What do you guys say?
Yeah, perfect.
And just like that, I didn't have to say his name 3 times like Beetlejuice. Here he is. Let's bring him on to the live stream.
Perfect.
Hey, Max, how are you? We're live already, just so you know.
Whoa.
Oh.
Come on. All right.
What's up, Max? How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good. Thanks for joining us this evening. I know you're probably busy training and whatnot. We do appreciate you coming by.
Anytime, guys.
Yeah. So we wanted to kind of recap and talk about World's Strongest Man a little bit, but maybe take a few questions that you haven't covered already. For those of you that don't know, Max has his own great YouTube channel, and you should go watch those videos as well. You and Sam fielded a lot of great World's Strongest Man questions there too, so we'll try to be unique here if we can.
Perfect.
Yeah. So first and foremost, like just as a creator, I'm interested. How did you guys get into YouTube? How'd you get that idea in your minds, and what was the process of getting that going?
We just wanted to bring the word out. We just want to have more strongman athletes from Canada just to show what it's all about. I don't know.
You're going to start getting some of the Canadian athletes on there, maybe Gabriel Rayom or some of the folks that are a little bit lesser known to get them some more notoriety.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So, leading up to World's Strongest Man, for those that don't know, like, how do you get invited? How does that work? Like, did you automatically qualify from podiuming last year, or like, how do they determine that they want to invite you?
I don't know. I guess so.
And well, maybe you know. Yeah, go ahead.
It's a completely different invitation system, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you were at Giants Live last year as well. Maybe you impressed some people there, but obviously you were on the podium last year at Worlds, so I guess that's pretty much a guaranteed invite for next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And how did your training regimen change leading up to World's Strongest Man? Did you change anything, or is it kind of just continuing more of the same?
Just basically the same, and just target more of the events that are coming along, right? So instead of training axle, clean and press, you just focus on log press instead, because you don't need to train for that right now, right?
Yeah, and the one event that kind of hasn't happened that often, it did recently at a Giants Live show, but Power Stairs, I got to give full credit to Edouard. He told me before anything ever happened, Maxime's going to win the Power Stairs. And tell us, Max, why you're so good at Power Stairs, so much better than maybe some of your competitors.
I really don't know. Maybe because I just started strongman, was the lighter guy there, right? And my explosive power was the thing I need the most to try to compete with those guys, because my brute strength wasn't at par yet. And I just kept that explosive power and combined that with my brute strength I have now. Power stairs are a lot easier. That, like sandbag toss and all those things, I don't really train them. I'm just good at them.
Right. You don't really train those events.
No, I don't.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Speaking of events you do train, Atlas Stones, talk about kind of how confident you were in the groups going into the stone off, with your ability on Atlas Stones now with all the work that you put into it. I know I saw some clips of little interviews of you saying at Worlds this year, like, there are people who still don't know that I'm good at Atlas Stones. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure. I really enjoy training Atlas Stone now that we have a heavier sets. And I just started training Atlas Stone more often for the past 2 years. I used to always be a decent Atlas Stone, but now just with actually being able to train every week, I got that much better. And having that in my pocket is really useful for World's Strongest Man, especially with how they bring people to the heats. So basically in the heats, first event, it was just nice because we had 2 newer guys in our heat. So I knew from the gate, they're really explosive and they're really fast. But when you start fast and it's your first year world strongest man, you tend to do a lot more mistakes and stuff like that. So when I saw I was able to catch up with Lisa's in their heat, I just slowed down to keep the energy for the rest of the events. The car yoke, I picked it way too low. I dropped it halfway through. I couldn't repick. That's why I was slow. I was underneath for 49 seconds, obviously. And then I just finished strong with the log press and the Hercules hold.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great events for you. And how about that battle with Kordiaka and the stone off? Was that a little bit scary? Because he got like, what, 5 reps on that last stone?
I was just warming up. I had a lot more to go. Whatever I needed to do, I would have done.
That's amazing. I mean, I would class you the second best stone lifter in the world right now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, probably for sure. Tom's just too high, man. I can't keep up.
Yeah, but speaking of Pavlo, what'd you think of him at his first Worlds? Like, I don't know how much you focus on other competitors rather than just kind of keeping a singular focus on your own performance, but what did you think of him? Like, even though you had more in the tank for Atlas Stones, were you surprised he did that many?
Yeah, for sure. Like he had everything to prove, right? He wanted to take me out to go into the finals, and he was going to do everything he can to go there because that's his first time. And with everything that's going on back home, he was a really dangerous athlete this weekend, and he's a really good guy who has lots of potential. A few more years, he's going to be really good.
Yeah, he was good at OSG. He was in Middle East, I think, last year as well, is where I first saw him. And yeah, he's a great athlete. Nice guy, too.
Sure.
Yeah, amazing. But so talk about the car walk a little bit. How different is it from a traditional super yoke?
It's different, but it's not. Like, you just need to be more careful because if it wobbles, you hit the tire and you can really jump with it, right? So you maybe just want to pick a lower height so that you make sure the tire's not going to hit, because the tires are locked in place, right? So if you hit it, you stop right there. So it's a bit more dangerous for that aspect, but like it's just logging in a regular yoke. So just the balance is more technical than anything else.
You're muted, John.
Yeah, the forward-backward balance. Yeah. So the other thing I was wondering too is, like, last year you made the podium, this year close to it, and you have 2 events that I won't call them weaknesses, but less than stellar compared to some of your other events. In working through kind of cleaning those up, are you looking at a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan of winning Worlds? Like, what's the probability of one day winning Worlds, or maybe on the way there podiuming soon again?
Yeah, for sure. That's the plan, obviously, to stand the podium. I'm really good contender for that as well. The first place can be something as well. It all depends with the events. But like, I really enjoyed that they did that this year, put a yoke and a deadlift, because it really made me train on those really hard. So I'm just filling my gaps. And what's great about my weaknesses is that when I get better at deadlift and better at yoke, everything carries over. Like if your weakness is overhead press, when you train overhead, the only thing that improves is overhead press, right? So I'm really happy that those were my weaknesses. So it got me better all around everywhere else. And if I keep going like that, I just learned a few new ways to do technique for deadlifts. I got good people behind my back. So like, it's something that's reasonable for sure.
Great. How much better would you say your deadlift and yoke are this year than they were a year ago?
A lot more. I feel way more comfortable now. Just switching a few cues really helped me drastically. I'm able to deadlift without wasting as much energy as before. Like you guys saw, I was able to do 10 reps for the car deadlift, which last year I got last place and with 3 reps, and the one after me had got 7 reps, right? So I closed the gap drastically there.
Fantastic. And what did you think of the grip on the car deadlift? So typically when I've seen car deadlifts, they're neutral grip, but this was still a crossbar. So how did you feel about that grip?
For the deadlift, oh, it's fine. It's more like a leg press. You just need to lean back and pull, like more like a hack squat type of thing, right? So you're more stable.
Yeah. Do you feel like height matters on that type of deadlift because it's kind of an arcing motion backward?
No, it's how you pull. If you pull with your back, you'll have a harder time than somebody that uses his legs for deadlift for that purpose. Because if you use your back, the handle's coming back towards you. If you use your back, you can go straight up. So that's at the top, you get stuck.
Yep. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, because I mean, you're not Stoltman tall, but relatively tall guy. And I was thinking, like, in comparison to Novikov, who did very well, is it technique that mattered for him, or is it just? I mean, he has passion. Like the guy doesn't quit. So I was just thinking about kind of what matters more in that type of deadlift, technique or just the will to want to win.
Well, you just described his whole weekend. He had something to prove, right? And he was going for everything he had, every event.
Yeah. Do you know, I mean, I think in the US they televise it, guys. What is it, about a month later? And then the UK is Christmas time, right?
Yeah, it's going to be July.
Yeah.
July. So we're going to be able to see it pretty soon. We've kind of heard snippets, and we'll be able to see pretty soon.
Yeah, the first one's going to be on the main CBS channel, and the next ones are going to be on CBS Sports Network. So just like in past years, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely want to see that. I don't know how much you can give away about why Alexei may not have done as well in the Atlas Stones and so forth. Like what everybody's thinking is he just gave so much to the other events that's all he had left. But I don't know if we're allowed to talk about that, or we should wait to watch it.
Well, I don't know. It all depends on how he felt, right? Alexei is a good stone, but for a run, he's a bit slower for those kinds of things. You need to walk towards the stone this year. So it might have been something that he never trained, right? And then when he tries, like in his head, he needed to win the stone off. So he might have went too fast for what he was able to do and just did some slip-ups here and there.
Yeah, that's another thing I want to ask you, because certain guys like Bobby Thompson, for example, we saw him training run up leading into World's Strongest Man. Is that something you specifically trained, like the closing the distance with the stone, or is that you're just a good stone lifter, so it was not an issue?
Well, I did 4 training stone, 4 stone training before Worlds this year, the last 2 months. So I did just a heavy set of 4 sets of 3s, and I trained walking twice and 1 last heavy run, and I was good to go.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you train up to the weight that they were using at Worlds, or did you?
Yeah, I always use my 460 that I have at the gym. Yeah.
I was going to ask too, because I finally got the opportunity to attempt a 400-pound stone the other day, and I was able to lap it barely. Which I was pretty surprised at. But I was going to say, what was your biggest tip? Because you went from being an all right stone lifter to being, I mean, yeah, arguably one of the best in the world within about a year. So what was the big thing for you that really, other than just training them more?
Well, I used to never train them. That's why. So I actually really attacked it every week, and I got better like that.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
No, but then just improving, like I said, my weakness is deadlift. So I've been always focusing on that posterior chain in my legs. So just everything in general improves everything overall.
Would you consider going for a 600+ pound stone at some point? Because I mean, you're starting to make the 460 look like a cotton ball. So are you going to consider going for something heavier?
I might build a few stones this summer when I have the chance to see what I'm able to do, if it's a 500 or whatever. But I rather focus on getting well-rounded as an athlete, because I'm almost there to be able to win a lot of shows. So why waste my energy to get an injury just for one lift instead of focusing on my weaknesses, right?
Right.
Yeah, especially one lift where you're already top of the world on.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. Eloi, what questions do you have for Max? I've been asking a lot here.
Well, I was wondering about the Flintstone barbell, obviously, because that was a pretty new event for everyone. What did you think of that one?
It was really hard for me to train with I've been having a shoulder injury for the past 2 years, and going behind the neck was really hard. I couldn't drop the bar back down to my shoulders, so it was kind of annoying to train. So same thing there. I wasn't ready. I knew I was able to press heavy weights. So I did a session before Brian Shaw. I pressed 260. At Brian, I pressed 385, just missed 420. My next session, I went up to 450. And then I went to the show on just understanding to learn how to use the technique behind the net, because I know I'm strong overhead press, but I'd rather heal my shoulder and make it worse. So I just crossed my finger for that event, and I just missed 500.
Yeah, yes. So you did go behind the neck because some other guys went in front.
Yeah, I can't reach with this shoulder.
Yeah. I remember last year at the Canadians, the Viking press was quite a bit harder for you than a log lift, for example.
Yeah, I got dead last.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. So are you doing any rehab for the shoulder? Taking some time
Yeah,
off?
it's coming along. I should be good to go this year for sure for those events.
Yeah, awesome.
And then what about that wrecking ball hold? That's the other kind of oddball event that we had this year. What'd you think of that?
I ride a farmer's walk, to be honest. Holding something for a while, it's more mentally challenged and a grip challenge, right? Because like Trey is known not to have a good grip, but he trains grips obviously, but he finished second place. Where like at the Arnolds, he didn't even pick up the frame. You know what I mean? So like it's more of a mental game at this point than anything else.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter. I think the organizers didn't think that we'd have some guys over 2.5 minutes on that. So maybe it's going to be heavier next time.
No, but they want a show, right? They want to see people struggle and be able to hold it. It's a big TV production, right? It's not a, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course, of course. But I think for TV, it's probably preferable to have some guys holding on for 1 minute.
Yeah,
3 minutes of holding's a little long. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, not a struggle for you at all because you won that event in your group, did you not?
Yeah.
93.93 seconds. Well, I didn't expect times that big either, honestly.
Yeah.
No.
But it was what, 500 pounds?
If they say it was.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it?
No, it didn't feel like it, no.
And I saw some of the instructions, they were saying like you couldn't let it touch your thighs and stuff like that. But then I've seen pictures where it looked fairly obvious
do like
guys were resting it.
to hold it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No, we're allowed to touch our quads as long as we didn't have like a flex, a bent knee.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting to see once we actually get to watch the videos of it and see how everyone was actually doing it.
Yeah.
Given that World's Strongest Man does some editing in their shows, I wonder how many guys they'll actually show. Like they'll probably show one, just Max go for 93 seconds and then move on to the next event.
Yeah.
Probably well, it's in the heats, right? So they'll probably show like half of them, maybe.
Yeah, because these are pretty long performances. So for television purposes, it's not the best, right? You can't show everybody on that event, I guess. But the other events were in pairs, which helps.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did they do? Was the car walk one at a time or in pairs?
In pairs.
In pairs, okay. Because for OSG, it was 4 of them, which
for the
was
wrecking
insane.
ball.
Oh, pairs for the wrecking ball too?
No, everything was in pair except for the wrecking ball.
Except the wrecking ball.
Right,
okay.
right.
Interesting. Yeah, I was saying OSG had 4 cars at a time, which was insane.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering too, because looking at the platform with how they have it set up, holding the wrecking ball, did the wind push you around or anything? Like, did the forklift wobble at all or anything? Like, it just looks slightly unsteady, I guess.
No, but you felt the chain move, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're muted again, John.
Sorry. The other thing I was wondering in terms of like a little behind the scenes stuff, how many things did you test in the boneyard ahead of time?
Just picking up the anvil, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Interesting.
Oh, and the wrecking ball, everyone tried it out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw a picture of Janasha trying it somewhere. But
yeah.
It's just interesting to me, like the balance of familiarization versus risking an injury. Like, how much of it do you attempt?
No, I tried to pick up the power set. It didn't move, so I stopped.
Yeah, you didn't want to give too much too early.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So In your group, what were some other surprises? I know Shane had to withdraw, unfortunately, so we won't get to see a full competition from him. I'm sure he must have been pretty pretty upset about that. And then Nedsman also, like, so in the deadlift ladder, Max, you're known for not being the best deadlifter. You still got 3 points out of it. And Nedsman, who is a big deadlifter, only had 1 point in the deadlift ladder. So I don't know if, again, I don't know how much you're allowed to reveal there about what may have happened.
Oh, I can't say anything about my heat. I wasn't paying attention to them, to be honest.
But yeah, like some in years past, people would have said Max is going to come last in deadlift, and you didn't. So definitely showing improvement there. So
yeah,
a matter of time.
No, and it feels really good.
Yeah, that's great. So we got folks in the audience asking, are you going to win World's Strongest Man one day? As you said earlier, that's the plan, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yes.
Do you have how many years? Do you have a plan, or when it comes, it comes?
I don't want to stress myself. I don't want to think like that, because as soon as you put something like that, it's a lot more pressure, and I'm more relaxed when people don't talk about me, right?
Absolutely. Well, we love talking to you. What's your next comp coming up?
Shaw.
That's Shaw's always a heavy show. So
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. The other good thing too about Shaw is that, alluding to what we said earlier, I think they do show every competitor, right? So from a fan's point of view, you get to
it's a live stream this year too.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so no delay this year?
No
delay. It's going to be on ADL.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, who did America's Strongest Man last year.
Yep. Yeah, ADL is great. I love them. They're doing Clash Masters because Travis Ortmeyer is going to be in it, and I asked him, like, hey, how do I get to watch you? And ADL responded saying that they're hosting that one as well.
Nice.
Yeah,
they're growing.
Yeah, it's funny. We've had Travis on so many times, and I don't think I've ever actually watched him compete live. So it's gonna be it's gonna be awesome. He's a great guy.
Good.
Yeah. Nick Best is competing there too, I believe.
That's a big show for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show. The whole Clash evolution has been great with all the different shows that they've done, kind of opening up for some of the strong women, the lighter competitors. It's been a great thing they've done.
No, for sure.
Yeah, of course. It's been great, and it develops the sport even more, so we can only support that.
Absolutely. Let's see. What events have we not covered yet? Loading rates you destroyed, which was expected. We talked about deadlift ladder, car walk, log you destroyed as well, which again, expected. We talked about the wrecking ball hold. And then going on to the finals. How did the finals go for you? Did they go pretty much as expected? Giants medley, another yoke, right?
Well. It went really well. I was just the truck pull was just hard because I strained or pulled something in my calf, like hamstring behind my knee. On the log press, when I did on my fourth rep, when I decided to use a push press, so that's why I switched to Viper and everything else, because I couldn't use that leg really well, because I didn't know what was going on. So when I did the truck pull, actually halfway through, it was hard. I was just barely tapping one feet, pushing the other, so using one leg for a truck pull. So I would have loved to have both legs for that. But besides that, I did everything I could. I'm really happy that placing where I placed with not a top 3 on overhead press, where it's my bread and butter, and didn't do that as good as I should have. Plus my 2 weaker events. I'm really happy where I finished for sure.
Yeah, 2 top 5s in your first 2 finals is certainly nothing too shabby. Not too many people have done that in recent years.
Yeah, and right behind Brian both years too. Did you do that on purpose?
No.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, and there's somebody I got to ask you about as well, because you're very involved in strongman in Canada, but this new guy just came in, Mitchell Hooper, right? And he was absolutely awesome. What did you think of him?
He is great. We don't know who he is in Canada, right? Because he went to Australia for 4 years. Mm-hmm. So it was really nice to see him pop up, and he actually the walk, right? It wasn't just his Instagram video that put him there. He actually did really well and finished in the finals for his first year. It's the same for Gabriel. It was really good to see that.
Right. Yeah, the guys really did well. It was the first time with 3 Canadians in the final in 19 years. So,
yeah.
Some history there.
Yeah, Gabriel, I felt overperformed a bit from what I was expecting. I was very happy to see that. He did considerably better than he did at Shaw last time around. And, we don't have a whole lot of data on Strongman Archives about him to know what he's done. But based on what was on there and what I had researched, like, I was really happy to see. I thought he did very, very well at Worlds this year.
No, for sure. He did, yeah.
Yeah, in that group, I kind of expected Kevin and Ivars to be battling for second. Paul Dwyer was supposed to be in that group at first and couldn't compete. So that kind of opened the door for Gabriel, but props to him. He did his job and got to the finals. He worked really hard in the stone off. For Kevin, I'm not sure what happened because he did really well in the stone off last year.
Yeah, he popped a bicep on the second stone.
Ah, okay. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, Gabriel took his opportunity and he did super well. So
no, for sure.
We're certainly proud of him.
Yeah. Is he going to be at Shaw again this year? Do we know?
Yeah, as the with the guys division.
Oh, like the new division he's created, right?
Yeah.
There's gonna be a few Canadians in that one, right?
I think we're 3 girls, 3 guys, plus me, or 4 guys. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Hooper's getting an invite or not, but we're gonna have a few Canadians there.
Yeah, I think Mitch is on people's radars now. I was trying to get him on for this evening, but other responsibilities make Wednesdays and Thursdays his better nights. So we'll see if we can get him on later in the week to discuss this topic. But he did excellent. He really did. It's funny because leading into World's Strongest Man, he was known as the deadlift machine, and he kept saying, like, that's not even my best event. Yoke is my best event. But,
he was right.
Yeah.
He proved it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy for sure.
Yeah, that first event in the final was just really sending a message there. Rarely do you see that a newcomer winning their first ever event in the final. He smashed it, but after that, the deadlift was a little more difficult. He's got some experience to gain, obviously, but really
like
a solid effort.
He was a back puller, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So
and he needed to learn how to do a card double. Yeah.
I just don't feel like no matter what anybody did, they were going to beat what Novikov did on that event. It was too many reps in that amount of time to say someone could do better.
No, of course. 15 reps in a minute is just pretty insane.
No, 75 seconds.
Oh, 75 seconds. All right. Well, still, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable. And then let's see, what other events have we not talked about? And it was actually a bus pull, right? We've seen a couple of pictures. Was it the San Francisco or the Sacramento City bus?
Yeah.
And what was the distance on that?
100 feet.
Okay, cool. So I think that's everything with all the events. Anything else you want to talk about your experience there, Max? What was it good seeing the guys? Like, kind of, how do you balance your focus with the events versus the camaraderie time? I know there's a lot of downtime. Did you spend most of your time kind of focusing on yourself, or having a great time meeting up with the guys?
No, having fun with the guys for sure. Just go to bed early because they're early mornings to get there.
Yeah.
But no, it's real nice. Like, when it's showtime, when the whistle blows, it's your turn. But after that, like, you just shut it down and have fun with the boys.
Nice. How was the weather? Did it have an effect?
It was hot, but not as bad as last year.
No? Okay.
No.
Yeah, I heard they really went all out with making the athletes' tent super comfortable. And
it was too. Some mornings were too cool to be inside. Yeah.
That's funny. So Shaw Classic is coming up next. What's the date on that? I didn't look it up yet.
August 13th.
August 13th. All right. So you're in training for that one?
Yes, sir.
Nice. And
mid-August, yeah. And then there's Canada's Strongest Man not long after that, I think.
Yeah, 2 weeks after.
2 weeks after. It's going to be a short turnaround, isn't it?
No, that's okay.
That's
They're
okay.
almost the same events.
Okay, nice.
No problem.
Yeah. No problem at all. Just 2 weeks coming back and getting readjusted and ready to go.
That's funny. And Shaw's still out there at altitude in Colorado?
No, we're right in Denver this year.
Oh, you're in Denver?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's still a mile high, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I was gonna say, isn't it in Loveland this year?
Yeah.
Or like
yeah, it's
so
in
just
Loveland,
outside of Denver. But
My house is at 80 feet above sea level. I'd have to go there for a few weeks to get acclimated.
Yeah.
yeah, my wife's family lives maybe an hour away from there, and it's crazy because we live pretty much at sea level, and then every time we visit, it takes 2 or 3 days before you actually feel comfortable at that altitude. It's
Yeah.
Oh, Eloi, I was just looking at Strongman Archives. You have the events up there already. Cool.
Yeah, but I need to update the athlete lineup, but they haven't announced an official like second version, so I still have like JF on there. But there was like a first version of the athlete lineup. But yeah, the events are on there. We don't have the details yet. So there's a max deadlift, yoke, dumbbell press, back over bar. The events are pretty similar to last year. Log lift, medley, and some sort of leg press. Is that right?
A car leg press.
Yeah. That's a new one. That's going to be interesting. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I'm excited. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be different.
We don't know what the other guys are going to do either.
Yeah.
So other than the medley, what event are you looking forward to the most?
The Trump log, actually, the 440 log for rep.
Yeah, right. So it's a 440 log for reps. That's going to be challenging.
So it'd be at 400, 420, or 440.
Huh. Okay. So similar to the Arnold's a few years ago.
Yeah.
Then. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. So you're confident you're going to rep it out on 440?
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I see Jerry Pritchett on that lineup. We haven't seen him in a little bit. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, he got the invite. I don't know if he's going to be competing, but he was announced initially.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at.
Big Z's going to be there as well.
Nice. So he's returning.
Yeah.
Graham Hicks too. He's been he had an injury for a bit, right? So it'll be exciting to see him again.
Yeah. He's been nursing a few issues, but I'm expecting to see him back in shape.
Live too soon.
Yeah.
What's that?
Hicksy got invited to a few Giants live show as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's in the lineups for a few. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yep.
You doing any Giants live shows, Max?
The Glasgow show.
Cool. That'll be great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. You guys have any more questions? That's everything I had.
Yeah, sure. Well, about Canada's Strongest Man, I mean, so the events are pretty similar. Do you know if like a Mitchell Hooper is going to be there, for example? What's it going to be like?
I think so. He is, as of right now.
Yeah.
And the events, I don't remember what they are.
Okay. So since you're now leading Strongman Corporation Canada, are you like organizing those shows, or is it still the Strongman Circuit that's taking care of that? How does that work?
It's JF Circuit, yeah.
Okay.
That does the pro level, yeah.
All right. I see. So, yeah, let's hope this year's a little bit luckier for you. I was there last year, and I was really close to the loading race when you got injured there. So, hoping that you're going to be a little more lucky.
Yeah, it wasn't a good year for me last year for nationals for sure.
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Yeah, it happens, and you're going to have other chances certainly.
Exactly.
Max, you looking to do the Magnus Classic next time? That was a really cool one.
Yeah, it's in November this year.
Yeah, you gonna do it again?
Yeah, for sure.
That was fun. That was, like I tell the guys, that's probably my favorite show ever. I just love the outdoor elements and
I really enjoyed it too. It was different.
Yeah, that was a cool one. I want to see what kind of events he does this year. I'm sure it'll still be stone based primarily like it was last time around, but that was a lot of fun.
No, yeah, it's gonna be different location as well this year, so it's really nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was interesting because the deadlift was a little bit lighter there, and then you won it, and you know, everyone's saying like Max isn't great at deadlift,
Yeah,
and then
it was
you ended up
lighter.
winning
Yeah.
it. I'm like, wait a minute, he's not so bad after all. Interesting, but cool. I mean, I'm cool wrapping up. If you guys don't have any other questions, Max, anything else you have exciting in the future you want to share with the audience before we wrap up for the evening?
No, that's about it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on and giving us your thoughts and insights about World's Strongest Man this year, and looking forward to seeing you on that podium again next year.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
guys. Have a great
Thanks.
evening.
Good
Bye.
evening.
Bye-bye.